Most people think wars escalate because someone fires the first shot. In reality, wars escalate because someone believes they can fire the first shot and get away with it. There are weapon systems designed not to win battles, not to seize territory, but to quietly prevent wars from spiraling out of control. You rarely see them on headlines, and when the news mentions them, it's usually after something has already gone wrong. But long before that moment, these systems are already shaping decisions in command rooms on both sides. If you want clear, grounded military analysis without hype, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below on which weapon systems you want broken down next. In this video, we're going to explain the missile defense system that quietly keeps wars from escalating and why air defense matters more than offensive firepower. Matters more than offensive firepower. Most modern wars are decided long before the first missile ever hits its target. Not because one side runs out of weapons, and not because diplomacy suddenly works, but because someone looks at the battlefield and realizes escalation will not deliver the outcome they want. That realization doesn't come from speeches or threats. It comes from systems, specifically systems that deny confidence. Air and missile defense is one of the least understood but most strategically important parts of modern warfare. It doesn't seize territory. It doesn't topple governments. It doesn't produce dramatic footage of breakthroughs and advances. Instead, it quietly shapes decisions by making attacks uncertain, expensive, and politically risky. At the center of that reality sits the Patriot missile system. To understand why Patriot matters, you have to stop thinking about it as a missile launcher. Patriot is not a single weapon. It is an integrated system designed to detect, track, evaluate, and destroy threats before they can achieve strategic effect. Its purpose is not simply to shoot down incoming missiles, but to change the behavior of those who would launch them in the first place. Modern militaries don't fight in isolation. Every offensive action exists inside a web of escalation calculations. Leaders don't just ask whether they can strike. They ask whether striking will actually improve their situation or make it worse. Patriot exists to inject doubt into that calculation. At its core, Patriot is a layered air defense system built around radar, command and control, and interceptors working together as a single organism. The radar scans vast volumes of airspace, detecting aircraft, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles at long range. That information feeds into a fire control system that evaluates speed, trajectory, and threat priority. Only then are interceptors launched, guided continuously until impact. This entire process happens in seconds, often faster than human reaction time. What makes Patriot strategically important is not perfection. No air defense system can intercept every threat. Patriot doesn't need to be flawless to succeed. It only needs to intercept enough missiles to make an attacker question whether the attack is worth the cost. That doubt is where escalation control begins. During the Cold War, air defense was often treated as a secondary mission, subordinate to offensive firepower. The assumption was that wars would be decided by who could strike harder and faster. But modern conflict has exposed the limits of that thinking. Precision weapons are expensive. Stockpiles are limited. Political tolerance for civilian casualties is low. Missile strikes that fail to achieve decisive results often backfire. Patriot changes the equation by forcing adversaries to assume losses before the first launch. If some missiles will be intercepted, then more must be fired to achieve the same effect. That increases cost, drains inventories, and raises the risk of unintended escalation. This is why Patriot systems are almost always positioned around high-value targets: air bases, command centers, logistics hubs, and population centers. These placements are not symbolic. They are deliberate efforts to deny an enemy the ability to achieve decisive results early in a conflict. Another critical feature of Patriot is integration. It does not operate alone. Patriot batteries are tied into broader air defense networks, sharing data with other sensors and systems. This creates overlapping coverage, faster reaction times, and a clearer picture of the battle space. From a strategic perspective, Patriot doesn't just defend physical locations, it defends decision space. Leaders considering escalation must account for the possibility that their strikes will be blunted, their objectives partially achieved at best, and their actions exposed without delivering victory. That uncertainty often prevents escalation altogether. Critics sometimes focus on cost, comparing the price of Patriot interceptors to the cost of the missiles they destroy. This comparison misses the point. Patriot is not designed to be cost-efficient at the interceptor level. It is designed to be strategically efficient at the national level. Preventing escalation, protecting infrastructure, and preserving stability are outcomes that can't be measured by the price of a single missile. Another misconception is that air defense encourages passivity. In reality, effective air defense enables freedom of action. Forces that are protected from aerial attack can maneuver, resupply, and operate with far greater confidence. Air defense doesn't replace offensive power. It enables it by preventing catastrophic disruption. Patriot's value becomes most visible during moments of crisis, when tensions are high and miscalculation is most dangerous. In these moments, restraint is rarely about morality. It's about risk. Air defense systems create conditions where restraint makes strategic sense. It's also important to understand what Patriot does not do. It doesn't guarantee safety. It doesn't eliminate risk. It doesn't make a nation invulnerable. What it does is reduce the likelihood that an attack will succeed in achieving strategic surprise or decisive impact. That reduction matters. Modern warfare is increasingly shaped by perception. Perception of strength, vulnerability, resolve, and risk all influence decision-making. Patriot contributes to deterrence not by threatening retaliation, but by denying payoff. This is why air defense systems often operate quietly, with little public attention. Their success is measured in attacks that never happen, in escalations that stall, and in conflicts that remain limited. When Patriot does intercept a missile, it often becomes headline news. But by that point, the system has already done its most important work behind the scenes, shaping behavior long before launch. As missile technology evolves and threats become more complex, the importance of air defense will only grow. Precision strikes, long-range missiles, and drone saturation all increase the value of systems that deny easy victories. Understanding this requires a shift in how power is defined. Power is not just the ability to strike. It is the ability to deny others the outcomes they seek. In that sense, air defense is one of the most powerful tools a modern military possesses. Patriot may never capture the imagination the way tanks, aircraft, or ships do. It operates quietly, often unnoticed. But its influence on global stability is profound. Wars do not always begin because someone wants to fight. They often begin because someone believes the fight will be quick, decisive, and survivable. Systems like Patriot exist to challenge that belief. And by doing so, they quietly keep wars from escalating.